Hi, this is Challa Prabhu. So today I want to give you a demonstration of how to create or probably define multi-level list. So this is very important because when you get a big document which has got more than 100 to 200 pages, it becomes very difficult to really know how to apply multi-level list. So my recommendation to the author and the technical writers is to create one single page Microsoft Word document, create our 5 to 6 items in a list, and then apply all these levels of headings and check whether all this formatting and indentations are correct before you actually import this particular style sheet into the actual document, which is around 100 to 200 pages. The reason being is if you have a very big document which has got 100 pages or more, any change in the style sheet, you have to keep moving between the TOC and the exact location where the style has been applied. It becomes very tedious for you. So this is my sincere advice to all the authors and the technical writers. And so what you will learn today, there are there are a few things like you will see. I'll show you how to create a multi-level list and use the tabs to indent those items in the list. Second one is how to integrate or associate these items to the heading style sheets. Heading style. Then third one is how to see whether the TOC has got all the entries from level 4 to level 5, which are the new headings that you have actually entered. Because by default, the TOC displays only um, 3 levels of headings. So even if you add a couple of new entries from heading 4 to heading 5, it may not display. And finally, we'll see how we can move these section headings above or below and how the TOC actually does everything for you in realigning those topics and the numbering for you. So today, this session is going to be very important because most of them during the pandemic and work from home, I really felt this numbering of multi-level very difficult, and they were struggling because they never had any expertise uh, to reach, or probably they were not in a culture where they were working in an office so they could go and approach someone and get these things done. So today, the first Word document which I'm going to show you is where it will have some 8 to 9 items in a list, and I'm going to create a multi-level list using the define multi-level list dialog box. Okay, so before doing this, I've got these entries here. I select all this, go to the multi-level list. So this is the multi-level list. Okay. So you may probably prefer any type of list that you want from this particular uh, menu. So this is what you want. Actually, you want 1.1, 1.1.1, and 1.1.1, and so on. This is how it has to apply across all the headings when you use your style sheets or when you want to use the tabs to indent others. So it is always recommended that as I mentioned earlier, that create it in a one single page and then later on import that particular style sheet into the main document. And so you need not have to worry about how the indentation takes place. Now here what you do, you have to go and you click on the define new multi-level list. So this dialog box is very important. Okay, mind that. See, when you see this dialog box, the left hand side is the various level headings, and the right hand side is a preview of that particular level. And there are certain other options below, which is very important for you to manage and assign properties for that respective levels. And one thing you have to know is you are not going to do anything here. As a multi-level, when you create a multi-level list, there are only 3 things that you are going to do quite often. One is you will enter dot in the enter formatting for number dot. That's what on the keyboard. And second thing is you are going to enter the align at, that is the distance between the number and the text. And the third one is a text indent left. That is where you are going to specify how close the numbering needs to be to the margin of the particular page. These are the 3 fields that you will quite often use, and nothing else. So you do not have to worry. The moment you handle these 3 fields, your multi-level is complete. And here I'm going to enter some values for this level. So I'll take first level heading. This is the first level heading. And here under the number format, you see number formatting for numbers. Please delete this value. Please let it be blank. And because it's heading level 1, you won't see include level number from the pull down menu highlighted, because you don't have any other hierarchy, any other level which is being derived from this level 1. So level 4, level 2, level 3, level 4 all gets derived from the previous heading. So therefore this since being the first one, you won't have that highlighted here. So the first level heading here, you, you won't type 1 or you won't type dot. You have to select only number style from this field, which is a number. That's it. So Microsoft Word does entering that number 1 in the enter formatting for number, and it highlights it also. It has got a gray background and everything. And now the number formatting, if you see, it is on the left. The align at is also 0, and here it is text at a 0.05. So point here. So you have just put this as 0.25. Okay. Now heading number 1 is ready. Now we'll go to level 2. So level 2, say a similar thing. You have to clear this. And since you're coming to level 2, the include level number from this pull down menu is highlighted. So from here you have to select level 1, because it has to derive from the previous level headings. Okay, so the moment I selected it automatically put a 1 in the enter format for number as a highlighted one. Now we are going to only enter dot. This is what you will be doing for every after choosing the levels. You are not going to enter any number. And now, because it is number 1, the next value which is going to be for the second level will be selected from the number style sheet for this level, which is the number again. So you are not going to type any 1 again. So this will show you this 1.1. Now I will go and enter the align at 0.75, and the test alignment is going to be 1.1. Okay, that's all. Now if you go to 3, the same thing. You clear this enter number format. You come here, select level 1, press dot, press level 2, press dot. Now since it is the third value, the third value will be from the same 1, 2, 3. That is the numbering style that you want associated with it. Now you have to format it, because if you see the preview window, you can see that 1.1.1 is well ahead, or it is before 1.1. So I have to go and give a value for it. So I am giving 1.7. Now here I am going to give a value which is 2.6. 2.6. Okay. Now here, I'll go to fourth one now. Now fourth, I'll clear this entering number, because then come back here and say level 1 dot level 2 dot level 3 dot, and say to going to the fourth one, you have to come to number styles for this level and choose 1.2.3. Now I'm going to give and change the value, which is going to be 2 here, and then the text indent from the left, that is from the margin, is going to be 2.6. Okay. Now fifth and the sixth one, because by default the style sheets which mostly used in the document is from 1 to 3, and so since I'm going to have number 4, this is going to be value number 3, number 4. Now this is going to be number 5. So number 5, clear this. Remember there I've got level 1 dot level 2 dot level 3 level 3 dot level 4 dot. Now since it is level 5, I'm going to come and select this as 1, 2, 3, the same one. Now I'm going to change the alignment at, that is the test that is going to be 2.65, and then the left is going to be 3.4. Okay, so now I say okay. Now remember this, in this dialog box, if you see at the end, if you see this, there is more. So I will be talking this later, but now I just want to give a tab and just tab and align this particular items in the list. So I'll say okay. Fine. Now if you see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is all there. Now I'm going to use the tab. This is the first one which you'll be learning here. You have to go to over here. Just give tab 1.1. Go to Nagpur, then to dot. Go to Bangalore and give a third level heading. And probably if you want, you can just give a fourth level heading also. Fourth level heading. And then you can also give it to a fifth level heading. Okay, so this is using the tab. So the only challenge here is going to be like you have to specify. You have to the specify the align at, which is under the position under position you got align at and a text indent at. So these are the values that are actually going to give a proper indentation of the title. Okay, so this you have to be very careful in handling this. Why is if the alignment is wrong, if the distance between the text and the numbering is very close, they look to be far away. So you have to adjust meticulously. So this will probably take hardly 20 minutes. And then once you have done with this, once you have done with this, you have to you can either check and see whether everything is fine, and then later on apply this to your main document. But what will happen here is since they are not related, they are not associated to any headings in the style sheet, you have to. It will be very difficult for you to apply this in your main document. So what will be done now is I'm going to the second one is I'm going to associate these levels to the heading levels. So again, I'll go back to the define a new style sheet here. Now, as I said before you see this more button. If you more button when you click the more button, on the right hand side, if you see the second pull down menu, link level to style is not it says no style. That means that none of the styles levels which have been defined here is associated to any style. So now I'll select one and go to the style sheet and associate to level 1. So the moment I say heading 1, you can see in the preview window that there is a heading 1 adjacent to number 1 level. Number 2, I'll be having it to number 2. And number 3 will be associated to level 3. And number 4 will be associated. Oh, sorry. I'll cancel it again because I'll do it because I made a mistake. I'll just come here. So now 1 is associated to heading 1. 2 is associated to heading 2. And 3 is heading 3. 4 is assigned to 4. And 5 is assigned to 5. Okay. Now, now this now all these levels have been associated to the heading. I say okay, okay. Now if you see that all these styles applied with style sheets. Now if I come to Bombay and apply heading 1, you will see that it is aligned properly to the heading level. And then I press heading 2, it becomes a 4.1 because it thinks that it is derived from the previous heading, which is 4, which is Chennai. Now go here, it gives you 4.1.1, then 4.1. So what you have to do here is, because these are all associated with style, now you have to go to each style and change the properties, or you can just say what type of color the font needs to be, or what's the size of the font. So you have to go and modify. Click on the modify button and choose whatever properties you want to this particular heading. Okay. So in that case, what happens? Now the style sheet is ready. This document which I've got called numbering.demo is a file that I'm going to which has got this style sheet associated to the items and the multi-level numbering. So this style, after seeing that they're all well aligned here, I will open the main document and then import the numbering.demo style sheet into my main document and start applying the style sheet immediately into my document. So this will help me save time. This will help me save time. So now if you see, I've created the first time. First I created the numbering list and used a tab to align the list content. Second, I associated all this to the heading style sheet. Now, what is the purpose of this? Like if you do this, you save a lot of time. Okay, and then what happens is, in case if the document is very huge, in case if the document is very huge and you want to move up and down, and then it becomes very difficult for you to know whether all this numbering styles has been properly used. So because even a slightest thing, an error might cascade across the whole document and will be very difficult to fix it. So therefore, my recommendation is don't touch the main document. Just create a one-page document as I've shown now. Define a multi-level list. Create all your levels. Test it through by pressing the tab key. Then associate all this to your heading style sheet, and then import this particular style sheet to your main document. So if you see here, below the style sheet, you have got a manage style sheet. So if you use this manage style sheet and open manage style sheet, this dialog box below you got import and export. So you can click the import style sheet. Now, because this shows a numbering demo, because this on the left is a numbering demo. That is the actual style sheet where I've created my multi-level list. So you can choose that particular heading 1, heading 2, and move it to the main document, which will be on the right hand side. Okay. So here, if I say that, I can just close this and open the file, which will be the main document. And now I'll start moving this style sheet which I've created into this and say close. So what happens, your main document will have all the style sheets that you created, and you can directly start applying. Or in case the heading style is applied to your main document, the moment you just move these styles to your main document, it automatically the style sheet will be applied, and the document will be updated quickly. So this way you save a lot of time. And second thing, what I want to say is, even when you apply all this multi-level style sheet to your document, okay, uh, do, when you apply all this multi-level document to your document, how do you know whether these levels of heading level 5 or 6, which has been requested by the clients to incorporate in your document, is reflected in the TOC? So let me take you to the next document which I have. So this is a document. This is a document which I actually have. So, so I'm showing this document because I have level 5 and level 4 defined in this particular document, but they don't display here for me. The reason being is because they show, because by default they show only up till 3. So in order to do that, I go this is a TOC, right? This is a table of contents which I want to show you. I know that there is a level 4 and level 5 which has been defined for section 7 or probably the chapter 7. So I can go to reference and go to the table of contents. Okay. And come to custom tab table of contents. So in the custom of table, so here if you see in the dialog box under the general section, the source level is 3. So I have 5. So I just want, because since I've already added this 5 and it's also been imported into my main document, but it does not display in the table of contents. So what I'll do is I'll just go and increase this to 5. Okay. So when I say 5, on the right hand side web preview, you can see the heading level till 5 now. Earlier it was only till 3. So you can see that in the preview there's only 3 headings which are displayed. So let me go to 5 and then say OK. Okay, when I say OK, you get this dialog box which says replace the table of content. So what does it mean is it is going to just go through the document and see where all those level 4s and level 5s headings have been applied. Take that heading level names and the page number of that, and try to incorporate into this particular table of contents and update it. Okay, so now if I do this, you'll see that table number 7 has got 7.1.0, 1.2, 1.3, 1.3.1, 1.4. So this has been applied here. It has been applied here. So this way, this is one way where you have to quickly check, because whenever you work on a document, because you may be a single contributor in the organization, you may not have any help from any other people to work on this document. Okay, so what happens, you will just quickly try to you will just go into directly to create a level 4 and level 5, because level 1, 2, 3 is already there. But it's not the case. Even if those style sheets exist in the document, you can just go and take the values of those H1, H2, H3 and come back and create a new page of a Microsoft Word document and create just 6 entries, and then import it into the main document. So otherwise what will happen is, in this level 7, chapter 7, I've got this 5. Now I have to keep on scrolling till the 7 to find out whether the style sheet is applying properly, or is the text on the numbering spaces are correct, or whether they have been indented properly. So all the 200 pages you'll be keep on scrolling. So that's the third method. And fourth method, what happens is, okay, what will happen in case I want to move the chapter number 7 before chapter number 3? So this is one situation where you might come across. Okay, so multi-level numbering will take care of that. So Microsoft Word document will take care of most of the things. Only thing what I said is you have to be careful with with this and define. You have to define new multi-level list. You have to just only enter three values. You have to only take care of three. One is you need not have to enter anything in the enter formatting for number. You have to just enter the dot. Second, you have to align it properly so that the text gets aligned properly with the number. And the text indent act is going to be the distance between the numbering and the margins on the page. So these are three values you'll quite often be using it. You will be entering dot because once you select it from the include level number from, you're going to enter the dot. So your number has to be highlighted. You can't just manually go and enter any number. Okay. And one more thing is whenever you come here and you just want to change something, right? So let me say that I want to change something in Salem or this thing. Okay, so by when you have your cursor on the heading level 2, and you then go to define number list, your level is going to show you as two heading, two one heading, two one heading, because why is because even though it is level 1, level 2, level 3, because your cursor is positioned on on heading level 1, that number is actually displayed there. So you not have to worry that your chapter number is not going to be starting from 1.1.1. It will start with 1.1 and 1, and because your cursor is clicked on chapter number 2, the preview window shows a head 2 heading 1, 2 heading 2, 2 heading 3. So this is one thing which you have to know. And now what happens is, like, now you want to rearrange some topics. So they say that you have to rearrange the topic. They say that you have to move chapter 7 to chapter 3 and then things like that. So during that time, what happens? It is the Microsoft Word that's going to take care of that effort to rebuild that particular TOC. So let me see how we are going to. So to do this, you have to go to View, Navigation pane. The navigation pane is going to give you the list of all the TOCs entries which you have here. So you can just move any of these entries before the 2. So now what happens is, now here if you see, it became 2.2.1 automatically. So when I go to the table of contents now, when I go to the table of contents, you'll see that it is still 7.1.1. It's still in the 7th, but actually I have moved it from 7th to the 2nd. So now what I have to do, I have to come to a TOC, right click and update the field, because these are all field entries. Remember that they are all field entries, they are not manual entries. When you come to field entries and say update time, now you see that the 7 has become 2. 7 has become 2. So this way you can manage your multi-level listing. So not necessary that it's a very difficult thing, because see, I've actually defined the number multi-level list once, but I'm trying to use it more extensively because you have to take the power of the application, and then this should hardly take 10 to 20 minutes to do this. So and once you become a single contributor to any of the projects that you work, you are supposed to be very careful in working on this, because most of the things you are going to do it. You are not going to have anyone around you to help you out. And then many of them have not been used to working with multi-level lists because they have been using templates or maybe any legacy content which has already been developed by someone, and they start using it. Unless and until the client comes forward and says that there is a request for some other new level of headings that need to be incorporated in the document, or certain sections need to be moved up and down. So you are going to navigate and try to organize and control the whole document using your view manage navigation pane. So when you do this, you are supposed to go and right click the document, right click the TOC, update the field, and then say update the entire table. Only then the page numbers will be updated. The reason why I'm saying this is, if you have some page numbering, if you have some For example, if you have some figures, the seven figures. So earlier, what happened is I had chapter seven, and I have all some figures which are associated in particular section. All had 7.1 on the figure name, or 7.2 on the figure name. The moment I move this to uh, chapter number two, what happens? These images should also change the number. For example, I'll just show you. So this figure number. So for example, figure 8. So figure 8. If I want to have a chapter number based on that, then I can also add a chapter number. So when I move this on the top and say that I need to even update the figure numbers, then what you do is you come to the then you come to a figure. Then right click it and here say this, okay, update the entire table. What happened is even the figure numbers will change to 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. So they are very necessary. The reason being is there are so many figures in the document that the end user doesn't know where are those figures. Is there anything that they could easily access and get more information about that particular interface, or how much he has to interact with that interface. All this could be based on the images that you have. If you don't have an image, a figure, or TOC, then it's very difficult for him to know what are the images are available for him, or how many images are there in a particular document. So this is a multi-level list which I want to say. So I have covered four things. One is you create a multi-list. You create a multi-list. Then use your tab key and try to indent. Then you'll notice that they get indented based on the levels you have defined. Second, all these levels you defined associated to the heading styles of the respective style sheet, so that the level 1 is associated to heading 1, level 2 is associated to heading 2, heading 3. Uh, okay, so then what happens is next time you can just use the style sheet on the top and then try to control the document. Third thing I said, like that the TOC, TOC entries may not show you all the levels, because by default they are set to level 3. You can go to a reference and reference a table of contents, and then go to custom and then increase the level to 5 so that they display in the TOC. And fourth one is when you create when you have a big document where you want to create a numbering list, please I recommend not to directly go and work on it. Create one page, or just create a new document in Microsoft Word with the six entries in the list. I create each entry as one level heading levels, and then later on save the document and import that document's style sheet into the main document where you want to work. So that way you can be very clear that the alignment, the formatting, and everything is perfect. And then also said how to import it. So the import function is here already available. So you need not have to recreate a style sheet for every document that you create. So you can create a new document with the style sheets that you've already defined in the earlier document. Then what happens here now is, since you got this document here, so you have to control this, right? You have to control the formatting of this, So this you can go, and control it using the TOC. See, because this is a TOC entry of application, so I can come and take the control of TOC by modifying it again and giving all the properties associated to that particular heading for the TOC only. So this will not reflect any of your headings within the document. It will only impact the TOC. Whereas if you go to heading one, and then modify, it will impact the headings inside the document. Heading 1 inside the document, heading 2 inside the document, and not the TOC entry, heading level, and TOC. So you have to take control of this. So before you create a multi-level document and say that the document is complete, you have to take care of all this, and then you have to say that you have taken care of the heading style sheet. You can do it. It will not take much time. And second is you also have imported that particular TOC into the main document. Then fourth one is you have control of the number of levels that can be displayed in the TOC. Fourth, you have gone to the heading level and TOC heading levels, heading 1, heading 2 in the style sheet, TOC, TOC1, TOC, TOC in the style sheet, and you have modified the property values of accordingly, and then you say that the document is complete. So this is a demo. This is what I want to demonstrate.